In this video, we will see the figure of speech. First poem, Where the Mind is Without Fear. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. This is alliteration. Sound of letter W and H are repeated for poetic effect. Where the world has not broken up into fragments. This is also alliteration. Sound of letters W and B are repeated. By narrow domestic walls. This is metaphor. Indirect comparison made between narrow domestic wall and narrow-minded decisions in the society. Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. This is personification. Inanimate object stream is compared to human quality losing its way. Into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. Alliteration. Sound of D is repeated. Where the mind is led forward by thee. This is synecdoche. Mind means it is a part of body, stands for person, whole. Poem number 2. All the world is a stage. All the world is a stage. This is metaphor, indirect comparison of world to the theatre stage. And all the men and women are mere players. This is metaphor. Men and women are compared to players, stage artists. They have their exit and entrances. Metaphor. Life and death are compared to exit and entrance on the stages. Next one. And one man in his time plays many parts. Alliteration. Sound of letter P is repeated. At first, the infant mewling and plucking in nurse's arms. Onomatopoeia. Mewling denotes cry of an infant. Then the whining schoolboy with satchel. Onomatopoeia. Whining denotes to schoolboys. Whine is sound. Creeping like a snail, unwilling to school. This is simile. Like shows direct comparison between the snail and the schoolboy. Inversion. The order of word is changed. Alliteration. Sound of the letter S is repeated. So in this line there are three figures of speech. Simile, inversion and alliteration. And then the lover sighing like a furnace with woeful ballad. This is simile. Lover's deep breath is compared to furnace. This is also onomatopoeia. Sighing denotes the sound of lovers sigh. Similar to the furnace. This is also transferred epithet. Woeful is transferred lover to ballad. This is also alliteration. Sound of W is repeated. Next line. Maid to the mistress eyebrows. Alliteration. Sound of letter M is repeated. Then a soldier full of strong oaths and beard like a prad. This is simile. Beard of a soldier is compared to the beard of a leopard. Jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel. Alliteration. Sound of the letter Q is repeated. Seeking the bubble repetition, even in cannon's mouth. This is metaphor. Indirect comparison is made of danger to cannon's mouth. It is Montaigne. Cannon's mouth shows close association with death. It is hyperbole also. In order to build reputation, person will be ready to face death. Next poem is Animals. I stand and look at them long and long. Alliteration. The sound of letter L is repeated. This is also repetition. The word long is repeated twice. Tell how long the poet watched the animals. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. This is onomatopoeia. Whine is the sound which denotes complaints made due to unsatisfactory conditions. They do not make me sick discussing their duties to God. Alliteration. Sound of the letter D is repeated thrice. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented. Repetition. Not one is repeated. Not one is demented with the mania of owing things. This is tautology. Demented and mania means the same thing, that is crazy. Poem number 4. Pulley. When God at first made man. Alliteration. Sound of the letter M is repeated. Having a glass of blessing standing by. Metaphor. Blessings are compared to liquid kept in a glass. This is also alliteration. Sound of letter B is repeated. Let us pour on him all we can. This is inversion. The words are rearranged for poetic effect. Let the world's riches which dispersed lie. Inversion. The words are rearranged for poetic effect. This is also alliteration. The sound of the letter L is repeated. So strength first made a way, then beauty followed, then wisdom, honor, and pleasures. Personification. The qualities of strength, beauty, wisdom, honor, and pleasure are given the animate qualities of movement to give a vivid image of the process of creation. Climax. Beauty, wisdom, honor, and pleasure are arranged in the increasing order of importance. Alliteration. Sound of the letter A is repeated. Next line. Rest in the bottom lay. This figure of speech is personification. Inanimate attribute of rest is given to human quality of lying. This is also pun. Rest here means remaining, and as a gift, rest. Tautology. Rest and lay means the same thing. Bestow this jewel also on my creature. This is metaphor. Rest is compared to jewel as a precious thing. He would adore my gifts instead of one. Alliteration. Sound of the letter M is repeated. Next one. And rest in nature, not the God of nature. Repetition. The word nature is repeated. Man worshipping nature instead of God. So both should losers be. This is inversion. Words are rearranged for poetic effect. This is also alliteration. Sound of letter B is repeated. But keep them with ripening restlessness. Alliteration. Sound of the letter R is repeated. Let him be rich and weary. Antithesis. Opposite ideas rich means comfort, weary means tired, are used in the same line. Paradox. Opposite ideas rich and weary are used in the same line. Extreme disadvantage of being rich means being weary. If goodness leads him, not yet weariness. Inversion. Words are rearranged for poetic effect. Personification. Goodness. Inanimate object is given the human quality of leading. May toss him to my breast. Hyperbole. Toss is used to bring one close to God. And synecdoche. My breast means God Himself. Next is the Night of Scorpion. The peasants came like swarms of flies. This is simile, direct comparison between swarm of flies and the peasants. This is also hyperbole. There is an exaggeration on the number of peasants who came to see the poet's mother by using the term swarm of flies and buzzed the name of God 100 times. This is onomatopoeia. Buzzed denotes whispering sound caused by the peasants who have come to see the poet's mother. This is also hyperbole. Hundreds denote that the peasants quoted the name of God many times. To paralyze the evil one. This is metaphor. Comparison is made between the evil and the scorpion. With candles and with lanterns. This is repetition. With is repeated twice in the line. These peasants came equipped with several things. They searched for him. He was not found. Alliteration. The sound of the letter F is repeated twice for poetic effect. It is also tautology. He and him in the same line refers to the same person. They click their tongues. Onomatopoeia. Click denotes the sound made by the peasants to detect the scorpion. May he sit still. Alliteration. Sound of the letter S is repeated twice for the poetic effect. Next one. May the sins of your previous birth be turned away tonight, they said. Alliteration. Sound of the letter L is repeated. This is also inversion. The order of the words is changed for poetic effect. May your sufferings decrease the misfortune of your next birth. Alliteration. Sound of the letter M has been repeated for poetic effect. May the sum of all evil balance in the unreal world against the sum of good become diminished by your plan. Repetition. Sum is repeated twice. Total evil in the world gets diminished due to the born by the poet's mother. Metaphor. Implied comparison is made between the real world and the unreal world. This is also antithesis. Evil and good are used in the same line to depict how the people use their concept to get relief from the poet's mother. May the poison purify your flesh. Alliteration. The sound of letter P is repeated. It is also oxymoron. Two contrasting words, poison and purify, are placed next to each other in a line. More candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more insects, and endless rain. Repetition. The word more is repeated to indicate the room was filled with peasants, lanterns, candles, insects due to endless rain outside. Poem number 6. The thing of beauty is joy forever. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. This is epigram, a brief, witty statement about the topic. But still will keep a bower quiet for us. Metaphor. There is an implied comparison between a thing of beauty and the pleasant shades under the trees. and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Climax. Restful sleep, good health, and complete relaxation are arranged in increasing order of importance. Metaphor. Comparison is made between things of beauty and relaxation. Next line. Are we withering a flower band to bind us to the earth? Alliteration. The sound of letter B is repeated. It is also metaphor. Flowery band and earthy beauty are compared. Spite of despondence of inhuman death. Alliteration. The sound of letter D is repeated. Of all the unhealthy and over darkened days. This is climax. Ideas such as evil habits and gloomy days are arranged in the increasing order of importance. Some shape of beauty moves away the pall from the dark spirits. Metaphor. Suffering and pain causing things are compared to the pall that covers our life and deaden it. Metaphor. Disappointments in life of man are result of his own evil actions are indirectly compared to the darkness spirit. Such the sun, the moon, trees, young and old. This is anticlimax. Sun, moon and trees are arranged in descending order of importance. It is also antithesis, contrasting ideas old and young used in the same line. Sprouting a shady boon. Metaphor. Indirect comparison between nature and relaxation are comfort provided by them, that for themselves according covert make. Alliteration. Sound of the letter C is repeated. Alliteration. Sound of the letter TH is repeated. We have imagined for the mighty dead. Antithesis. Contrasting idea mighty and dead include in the same line. All lovely tales that we have heard or read. Metaphor. Heroic stories of great people directly compared to lovely tales. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring on to us from heaven's brink. Metaphor. Gifts given to us by God are everlasting. They are compared to fountain of blessing. Their fountains flow endlessly from the heaven. Next poem is The Will to Win. Work day and night for it. Antithesis. Opposite ideas, day and night, are in the same line. It says one has to work persistently to achieve one's goal. Give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it. Climax. The words time, peace, sleep are arranged in increasing order according to their relative importance. Repetition. The word your is repeated, so is the word and. Seems useless and worthless without it. This is tautology. The word useless and worthless have the same meaning. It is also alliteration. Sound of letter W is repeated. If you gladly sweat for it, fret for it, and plan for it. It is repetition. The word for is repeated to indicate that the person needs to do to gain success. It is also climax. The words swear for, fret for, plan for are arranged in increasing order of their relative importance. Next poem is The Height of Ridicule. I wrote some lines once on a time. Inversion. The order of words in the lines are rearranged. In wondrous merry mood. Alliteration. Sound of the letters M is repeated. It is also tautology. The words wondrous and merry means the same thing. And thought as usual, men would say. Alliteration. Sound of the letter A is repeated. They were exceedingly good. Hyperbole. The extent of goodness in the lines in the poem has been exaggerated. They were so cure, so very cure. Repetition. The words so is and cure are repeated. I laughed as I would die. Hyperbole. Laughter is exaggerated to show how funny the poem is. It is also repetition. The word I is repeated. A sober man am I. Inversion. The order of letter or words is rearranged. I called my servant and he came. Alliteration. Sound of the letter C is repeated. To mind a slender man like me, he of the mighty limb. Antithesis. Slender and mighty are words used to show contrast ideas in the same line. It is also synecdoche. The word limb indicates the body part of the whole body. I added, as a trifling jest, alliteration. The sound of letter A is repeated. They will be the devil to pay. Alliteration. The sound of the syllable th is repeated. It is also metaphor. The line indicates that the servant should obey his master or else he will land in a trouble.